Hey guys, I present myself, CEO of Econize-More, Dave Coney. So what is Econize-More? I always want to have an introduction of Econize-More so you guys can stay up to date with what is Econize-More every time I talk about it. So what is Econize-More? Econize-More is an economic business with the plan to partner up with the Canadian government and with the success of our economic system in Canada, have our system leased in other countries. And we have for the slogan, $2,000 a month for low incomers worldwide. So before we go into the presentation, remember last presentation we talked about the innovation plan. Quickly, we did say that Econize-More is about the culture. And we had a basis into where we want to bring Econize-More, and that was towards IT. So, let's talk about what Econize-More wants to do with IT. We do recognize that technology is taking over the world in a fast rate. And when we say that, we're not talking about social media or algorithms. We're actually talking about transferation of data. Everything that was sent through mail is now sent through email. And everything that used to be checked on the journals is now checked through media. So with IT, we're gonna have a AI base, artificial intelligence base, ran by a 24/7 working base. Obviously, they will have schedules, but that's something for another day. But let's talk about this AI base. AI is not something we're gonna launch that's gonna run by itself. It's just something that we're gonna use for us to have the work faster and for you guys to receive the information faster. So, when I say AI is going to do ID verification, AI is only going to do a part of the ID verification. AI is just going to fasten up every trait that needs to be put up. But everything that's being checked through, like the files and stuff, is still being classed by a person behind the computer. With the AI base, we'll have a better follow-up and we'll have better step-by-step with no missteps. Also with Canada, we're enforcing into AI into the future. When we talk about any type of charts, any type of data, it will be a system that will be faster. Also, before I go into the next part, I totally encourage young people between the age of 16 and 23 years old to consider IT as a 2 years college experience. Alright? Because IT is totally the future of where we're going to be in the world. Also, with the AI base, there's going to have stronger protection Nothing will leave out of Canada, nothing will come into Canada without being detected. There will be better data and better information. And what that has to do with the society outside of it there. There's more than information bundles. There's actually charts that you guys will be using for your finance. Because before we talk about IT and all, what is Econize-More? It's a financing business, but we call it an economic business. So, through AI and the amplification of technology, you guys will have a closer up of where your money is going by the penny. Explanation and everything. If you're in the prompt to ask what is that rate, that prompt is going to be there. You won't have to open another app. It'll be like, we'll create prompt exactly for what you need, right? And for the young people who are going to school, we might have AI programming teaching starting in grade 6. From grade 6 to grade 12, right? But AI teaching programming could be not mandatory to pass, but a good role in play for the future, right? Instead of just using the prompt, we program those prompts, right? So now, Econize-More also has a goal, a big goal. I don't know if this is a quote, but I do remember reading this into the news. And it is not a bad news. It is about a Prime Minister, Mark Carney, actually. What does Mark Carney wants to do with Canada? He wants to do Canadian product only. And Econize-More loves that. So Econize-More wants to create new tech companies. Tech companies which, I'm sorry to say, but will be higher than Apple, higher than Samsung. We want the Microsoft to live in Canada. That's why we are encouraging young innovators to get into technology, into programming. So once we launch Econize-More, we are ready to also launch something bigger than Apple in Canada. Also, why do we want this big tech company? And why do we want IT at the maximum? It's because we have for goal to buy and make Canadian product as much interesting as possible. We don't want just our Canadians to buy. We want to also be able to sell it outside. Because the only way Canadians are going to go number one in economy is these two ways. One, we have to reinforce buying here in Canada, buying cars, Canadian product, Canadian clothes, Canadian phones. And second, we have to be able to sell it outside, and it's to be in high demand. These two factors can bring Canada to the top. It's not about each supporting small businesses. Small businesses are doing great. It's just about putting yourself out there and you'll be to a great success. It's only about making Canadian product as more interesting as the product in Italy that's called Gucci. For real. That's all it is. That's all we need. So, what could we use IT for? Create new logos, new t-shirts, new shoes. All that demands IT. Although we're still gonna have craftsmanship, although we're still gonna have hardworking men and robots will never take our spot, artificial intelligence will be behind the force of Canada. IT is the new gen. IT is where the money is. Remember, through it all, we want to make a stronger world. But first, we have to start with small steps. That's why me being in Canada, I want to start with Canada. So, remember that I talked about reinforcing the economy and bank Canadian product only. I told you about buying Canadian cars only. I know some people out there who say, I will never buy a Canadian car. I mean, I'm staying with the foreign cars. The way better. They drive better, they're smoother, all that. It is okay to your opinion. Econize-More is about the culture. That's why we have OCAR, the company that memberships garagements for them to buy, for them to get foreign car parts from us, for you guys to have for you guys to have your car fixed faster, right? And how does it work the economy if it's a foreign car? Well, in my calculation, the foreign car already imported in Canada at a mass amount, right? Not foreign car, foreign parts, yeah, are already imported in Canada at a mass amount. All you gotta do is buy from us, and we work the taxes. So now, let's talk about another plan. As Canada, as we want to work innovation in Canada and lease it into other countries, which is the systematic economic of $2,000 a month to low incomers and more numbers as the math goes on. We have Football State 50. Football State 50 says in the name is for the United States. So basically, before we talked about college and the NFL, there is high school and there is house league. If there is even high school league in the States, you know? So basically, I believe there's like AAA high school and there's like recreational high school, right? And me, I want to give the chance to all the kids to play to that AAA level all the way down to the 22. So we're creating a new league that's called Football State 50, where towards May, June, cities recruit kids to play against other cities, to play against other states, until the best two states play against each other for championship. Like a Snoop Dogg league, but way bigger, right? That goes beyond youth. That goes to give chances all the way down to your 22, in my belief. Right? So, in Football State 50, we say to the AAA high school teams, if you're already qualified AAA, you don't have to change your high school name. Your high school can stay a team. But if your high school doesn't qualify for the AAA team, your high school becomes a city team. So all the high school in that city becomes a city team, and y'all start competing. Guys, we have done 15 minutes into this live, and I believe I've elaborated the plan completely. Remember, guys, Econize-More is pushing the young kids towards IT at a maximum level and at a rate that's faster than the algorithm. We're all about Econize-More is about the culture. We totally encourage you to study AI. And when we say study AI, not ask questions to AI, but how AI can answer your question based on how you want to think. Programming, right? There's OCAR and there's Onward being in the work. And there's also Football State 50 to make football in America even better. Remember, guys, in this conclusion, Econize-More is an economic business who wants to partner up with the Canadian government to lease the system, to lease the economic system of $2,000 a month to low incomers with the math ongoing to other countries with the slogan of $2,000 a month to low incomers worldwide. That's pretty clear, right? Now, I know I've said this in other videos where you can go watch. But remember, numbers of the lease for other countries, if, for the right words, it is complicated to say right now, but if you are a low income country, like a third world country, yes, that's what I was looking for. If you're in a third world country, the lease it is of $300 million a year. If you are a high income country, a first world country, the lease is of $600 million a year. Now, we have more than money in the system. We have the media system, we have the school system, we have how the buses work, we have for countries where you need to snow, we have the snowing system, we have a whole economic system that we can sell. We have at the same point, if you want to upgrade a country like Canada, after Canada becomes first in the world, we can lease you a system. It starts at $600 million a year for first world countries. You give us $600 million, we loan you a rate that's high. We loan you more. You want more upgrade, the buses, anything where you feel like you need our innovation, we can put in the contract. But the numbers do go up. Also, the catch is we can give more. But there's another catch. Once we have loaned you, you have to bring back the threshold yearly. That's all we talk about. And I think we can close with this. So guys, I present myself, CEO of Econize-More. I hope the information I've given to you was clear. We hope for a better world and we hope for a better economy. We hope for less struggles and we hope for more innovators. Again, this is David Coney, CEO of Econize-More. Have a good day.